now, let's go to the studios of 95.5 The Vibe FM in Tigerville, WNGRLP, with The Bottom Line with Cole Bryson and Brad McGuffin. You're listening to WNGRLP. You can find us on 95.5 FM in Tigerville, also on the Mixlr app, or on Mixlr.com/WNGR. This is The Bottom Line. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into The Bottom Line. We have been away with you. We have been away from you for quite a while now, due to spring break. It's March though. Cole Bryson being joined with Matt Byers and Brad McGuffin. Matt Byers, special guest with us tonight. It is March, like I said. So obviously, guys, that means it is March Madness. And the brackets came out last night. Brad, Matt, were y'all when you saw the brackets? Obviously, they were leaked a little bit, like me and Brad were talking about earlier. They were apparently leaked, but when you saw them for the first time, what was your first overall impression?
I think it was an okay bracket. I think there's definitely some mistakes the committee made. There were some teams that definitely got shafted, and I thought there was. I had more of a problem with the seeding of some of the teams, not necessarily people that didn't get in, but just where they put teams. Seeding-wise, I thought a couple of teams such as Kansas, who has a very tough road to the Final Four, they were the number one overall seed, yet they got arguably the toughest road. Or you have Kentucky, who just beat Texas A&M in the SEC championship game, got seeded on the 4 line, where Texas A&M got seeded on the 3 line. So I would like to see the seeding fixed a little better to performance on the court. But overall, I mean, the committee did a good job. There's always going to be some teams that get left out. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good bracket.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest question was, how's Virginia number 1 seed when they lost the conference championship? It was a close game, yes. They lost to North Carolina. Michigan State has been the number 2 team for a couple weeks now. Won their conference tournament and didn't even get a 1 seed. I don't understand that at all. But yeah, Matt, like you said, I mean, there's so many teams in this tournament now. It's not an easy job for the committee, to look at this and figure out, okay, there's only 30-something teams who get an at-large bid who get in. So I think overall the committee did a great job. They put an emphasis on strength of schedule. A lot of Carolina people don't quite understand that, but, I mean, facts are facts. So, yeah, I think, if you're looking at the full bracket, I think this will be an interesting year because you don't have the one dominant team, but then again, there's so many good teams that could make a run in the tournament this year.
Do y'all think Kentucky got gypped with the seeding, with, like you said,
Yeah. But, I mean, if you saw the game, before the game, Kyle Perry even said, we're going to get this always happens. We're going to end up getting a 4 seed. And he was just bashing the committee. And right after the game, they won. He brought it up again. He continued to bash the committee.
Yep, let's hear what he said.
Those of us also questioned it. Perhaps maybe didn't get quite as high a seed as you might have expected. What was your reaction when you saw you were on the 4 line?
And wait a minute, now you've been following this. You're surprised? You not watched this over the last few years?
Yeah.
That surprised you?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. A&M got a 3 seed. Did we not play a basketball game today? I'm happy for A&M. They got a 3. I said, what in the world? Are we going to get a 3 or a 2? And I was surprised we didn't get a 5. Look, all this stuff, I always say this. When you misseed a team, it's not that team you hurt. It's the teams they play. That's who you hurt. Ask Wichita State. There's no reason they should have played us in the second round. They were 31-0. They were the number 1 team. And all of a sudden they play us. Look, at the end of the day, they're not stealing my joy, that little group of 10 who says this year it's top 50 wins. Last year it was road wins. 2 years ago it was RPI. It's a moving target. Instead of making it, this is how we're going to rate these teams. They're not stealing my joy. We just won a championship. We'll go to Des Moines. I wouldn't mind going to Anchorage. I thought they tried to send us to Anchorage because, look, I watched the Alaska Bush people and the last Frontier, I would have had the Kilchers right behind my bench. It would have been unbelievable up there. Maybe had the Warriors, throw them in there. I mean, it would have been fun. They're not stealing my joy. If they think they are, they're out of their mind. They build my team up. Thank you.
Coach Calipari, obviously, like I think Brad mentioned it, every year it changes. And, like he said, 2 years ago it was RPI, and this year we really don't know what it is. They say it's road non-conference games.
I think it was a mixture of strength of schedule and top 50 wins. I think those are the two biggest. I think those are definitely the two biggest, if you look at the full picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Matt.
And that tells me, too, looking at the bracket, that tells me if you're a conference that has your championship game on a Sunday, the committee's not going to take that into consideration. And here's why. I had more problem with Oregon getting a 1 seed other than Virginia.
Me too.
But that tells me that the committee had the 1 seeds figured out Saturday night. Because you had a team in Michigan State who was, I could be wrong on this and you can correct me, I think they were number 2 in the polls last week, and then they win their championship. They win their championship and don't get a 1 seed. But I think that just tells you that the committee makes up their mind as far as 1 seeds and maybe even seeding line a little bit with the SEC championship on Saturday night. And that tells me that if you're a conference commissioner, you need to think about that and possibly move your championship game back to Saturday night like the ACC did.
A lot of TV has a lot to do with that too. But yeah, I mean, Oregon played a great schedule too. That's another reason why they got a 1 seed.
All right, so let's start on the bracket. I don't know if any of our listeners listening tonight have filled theirs out yet. If they haven't, we don't want to ruin it for you, but we just want to help you think or help you fill out who we think will move on. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to tell you who out of us three who has the best bracket. We're going to tell you who we think will win the game. We may disagree, but we'll start in the South. Kansas and Austin Peay. Does anybody have Kansas losing?
No.
Nope.
Not even close. All right.
They better not lose.
Wouldn't that be a bracket buster on day one?
Oh, yeah.
Colorado, UConn. Who do y'all have?
UConn.
I have UConn as well.
All right, Brad, earlier you said UConn would make a big run in the tournament, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah, that was obviously before the bracket got put out. I think they got, going back to seeding, I think that was another one where they, kind of got punished for, like you said, playing on Sunday. I think they're better than a 9 seed. I do. But,
for sure.
Matchup-wise, they don't match up well against Kansas, and that's going to hurt them.
All right, Maryland and South Dakota State. You have the Terrapins?
Yes, Maryland.
Yeah.
All right. Cal and Hawaii. I was very close on this one just to pick an upset, but I think Cal's going to win this one. What about y'all?
I picked Cal, but Hawaii's a good basketball team. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, Cal has 3 potential first-round picks of the NBA on their team, and they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, they are.
Arizona versus Vandy or Wichita State. I have Arizona regardless.
Yeah, same here.
And I have Wichita State. If they can beat Vandy, I think they can.
Is that tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I think it's tomorrow or
tomorrow,
Wednesday. One of the two. I'm not completely sure on that, but I think Wichita State, with their experience and everything, could give Arizona a run. But you never know with that.
That game is tomorrow. Yeah, it is tomorrow.
Miami Buffalo. I have the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Miami pretty easy.
Yeah, Miami.
Temple, Iowa. I have the 10 Temple defeating Iowa. Brad?
Yeah, Temple.
I have Iowa on that one. I think that they've hit a rut in their season, but I think they're a really good basketball team who has seen the top 10 this year, and I think they pull it back together and beat Temple, who barely got in the tournament.
That's going to be a really good game, I think.
Yeah, Temple.
Really close game. Villanova, UNC Asheville, Nova.
Yeah, Nova.
All day. Oregon versus HC or Southern. Oregon. Even though, like I said earlier, I don't agree. They should be. I mean, they're good. They played a tough non-conference, but I don't think they'll make it far. St. Joe's and Cincinnati.
I have St. Joe's in that one. I think they're a really good basketball team with experience, and they know how to win.
I have Cincinnati.
They are a good basketball team, Matt, but Cincinnati's just too physical.
We'll see. Baylor and Yale.
I have Yale in that one. That's my kind of big upset.
Yeah, that's a big upset.
If you look at the tournament, a lot of times the person that comes out of the Ivy comes into that first-round game and wins a 12-5 matchup. And I think Yale, with their, again, experience is big in the tournament, and I think they have that. And I just think they'll pull an upset, but who knows? It'll be good.
Yale averages 43 rebounds a game, so that's almost 7 more than Baylor.
That's
But
a lot.
I think athletically Baylor's just too good.
Duke, UNC Wilmington. Everybody has UNC Wilmington, right?
Matt will be on the show. if that
Just kidding.
happens.
Just kidding. Everybody has Duke there. I would laugh. We're just picking on Matt because he's a Duke fan. Texas, Northern Iowa.
Watch out, but I have Texas.
Yeah, I'll take Texas in that one as well.
A&M versus Green Bay.
A&M.
And
A&M. Football got to take Green Bay. VCU versus Oregon State.
VCU.
I got VCU as well.
I have VCU as well. Oklahoma versus CSU Bakersfield.
Buddy Hill.
Yep.
Yeah, Oklahoma
Really,
big.
really not a lot of discussion there. UNC versus FDU or FGCU.
Florida Gulf Coast is back in the tournament, but they will not have the magic they had a couple years ago.
Yeah,
No.
UNC's too deep.
Providence versus Southern Cal.
Providence.
Yeah, I got Providence as well. That's going to be a good game.
I think it'll be a
Coach
good
Dunn,
game.
It's just going to be force.
Yep, Providence as well for me. Indiana and Chattanooga. This is still in the round of 64 if you're getting bored listening.
Indiana.
Indiana as well. The SoCon champion will not win for the 4th straight year. Kentucky, Stony Brook,
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Notre Dame, Michigan, or Tulsa.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame as well, yeah.
West Virginia and SF Austin.
I think this could be a good game
Yeah.
that could possibly be an upset, but I'm going to take West Virginia. They've been playing good.
I think so too.
Yeah, this will, like you said, Matt, this will be a good game, but I think West Virginia wins.
Xavier versus Weber State.
Xavier.
Xavier.
All right, let's go to the Midwest region.
You missed Pitt in Wisconsin.
I missed Pitt and Wisconsin. I did. All right, who do y'all have?
Pitt.
Pitt.
I have Wisconsin. Virginia versus Hampton.
Virginia.
And you know what? That Pitt versus Wisconsin, that one's really, really tough for me to say Wisconsin. That's going to be a good game. You said Virginia as well, Matt?
Yeah, they're 1 seed. They're not going to get beat by 16.
I agree. Texas Tech versus Butler.
Another good game. I'll take Texas Tech. They hit a stretch in the season where they just upset a bunch of teams and really showed they could play. So
I'm taking Butler.
I take Butler with their 3-point shooting.
Purdue versus Arkansas Little Rock. I take Purdue.
Little Rock.
I'll take Purdue on that one. They started playing well late in
Yeah,
the season.
they're getting hot.
They are a good basketball team, and if they do get by this first round game, I think they're going to make a run. But I think Little Rock's going to pull it off.
Iowa State versus Iona.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
I agree. Seton Hall versus Gonzaga.
Seton Hall.
I struggled with this one, but I think I'm going to go Gonzaga here.
Really?
Yeah, they have a good front court, and I think they give them some trouble. Seton Hall.
All right.
Gonzaga has experience, too.
Yeah.
3 left. Utah, Fresno State.
Utah.
Utah as well. I have Utah making a deep run because if you look at it, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But Utah don't have that hard of a matchup. I mean, if they do beat Fresno State, they play maybe Seton Hall, and then if they could somehow get through there, they may be in good shape until they played Michigan State. So Syracuse and Dayton. I hope Syracuse gets beat just because they shouldn't be in the tournament, in my opinion. But I'm taking the Qs.
I think Syracuse guard play with Benajay and Cooney wins.
I think the excitement of just getting in is going to come out and be a factor. I think they win, too.
I agree, Matt. I think Syracuse has good guard play. I think guard play is what wins these tournaments, especially in college basketball. Last game in the round of 64, Michigan State and Mid-Tennessee.
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Of course. All right, let's go to the Final Four. Who do y'all have in your Final Four for the March Madness 2016 bracket?
I'm going to take, in the one game, I'll go with a rematch of Kansas and Oklahoma, and I think that'd be a fantastic game. It's going to depend on if Buddy Hill can stay hot, and he's going to have to carry that team, but I think he's good enough to do it. And then in the other game, I'll take Kentucky and Virginia.
All right, Brad?
So I got Kansas and Oklahoma as well. However, I see Kansas winning again for the 3rd time. I think they're just a better basketball team. And then in the second matchup in the Final Four, I have North Carolina and Michigan State. And I'm still kind of iffy on this because my big concern here is North Carolina, Kentucky. I think Kentucky has better guard play, but I think North Carolina finds a way to win that game. And then, but Michigan State will beat North Carolina, but Kansas will beat Michigan State in the national championship.
I'm really torn here in my Elite Eight. In my Final Four, I have Kansas and A&M. I have A&M beating Duke in the Elite Eight. I have Kansas beating Miami in the Elite Eight, and then I have Kansas beating A&M. For the East and Midwest, I have Kentucky, but then going back to the Elite Eight, I have Virginia and Michigan State playing. And I don't know who I'm going to pick. This is subject to change, I guess, but right now I'm going Michigan State. So I'm going to have Kansas and A&M playing each other, Kansas winning. I'm going to have Michigan State and Kentucky playing each other, and Michigan State winning. And in the championship game, I have Kansas and Tom Izzo.
And for my championship game, I have Kansas and Virginia, and I have Kansas winning the national championship as well.
Score?
I had 77-84. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the experience of Kansas coupled with just their talent, and they're just so deep and so good that I think that they ultimately, if they can get out of their bracket's tough.
And what's your championship game, Brad?
Kansas and Michigan State.
That's mine.
Kansas winning at 76-71.
I just closed the app. Let me open it back up. I have Kansas winning. I have Kansas winning in this tournament challenge app that is so confusing. Here we go. Final Four championship. This is good radio, by the way. All right. I have Kansas beating Michigan State. What was your score, Brad?
76-71.
Mine is 79-73. I think Kansas will be the champions when it's all said and done. Just one more time. I have Kansas winning it all. Matt, you have?
Kansas as well.
Kansas winning it all. And Brad, you have?
Kansas.
All right. If we had to say Kansas is not going to win it all, who would your second pick be?
I think Michigan State.
That's a tough one. I mean, I have Virginia playing them in the national championship game, so I guess you can say Virginia, but I don't know.
I mean, there's other than Kansas, there's really, I mean, whoever you want. You got Virginia, Oklahoma. I mean, even a team like Kentucky with the guard play, they could make a deep run. Even a team like A&M. I mean, we've seen how good they can be this year too. So,
and I have A&M going far.
Yeah,
there's so many good teams, you just really don't know. That's why. I mean, I was looking at our bracket. You know, I have Kentucky going to the Final Four, but I'm looking at our bracket saying they could easily lose to a team like Indiana in the round of 32.
Right.
And there goes my bracket. So
right. I agree.
It's tough. This is
All
a
right.
tough one.
For your Blue Devils, Matt, how far do you have them going?
You know, and it's hard for me to pick against the Blue Devils at any tournament. It's hard for me to click that button to send them to turn them gray. It's just hard. But for me,
I love it.
You know, I couldn't look at this team and say like national championship. And so I have them getting beat by Oklahoma in the Elite Eight. I do think they'll get to the Elite Eight a lot because of where they were put. I mean, if my prediction comes true and they play Yale in the second round, I would have them over Yale. You know, and then Oregon. I don't think Oregon's that great of a team.
I don't either. I don't either.
So
I agree.
I think that their matchups could send them into the Elite Eight, and then once they get there, you never know. But I do have them getting beat by Oklahoma in the Elite Eight.
I have Duke beating UNC Wilmington, obviously. I have Duke beating Baylor in the round of 32. I have Duke beating Cincinnati in the Sweet 16, which if those two teams play, that'll be a really, really good game. And then in the Elite Eight, I have A&M beating Duke, and A&M advances to the Final Four where Kansas beats them. Brad, where do you have Duke exiting the tournament?
Same as Matt. I have Oklahoma beating them in the Elite Eight.
Y'all said Oklahoma. Where did I leave Oklahoma at? Let's see here. I have Oklahoma in the Sweet 16 losing to A&M.
It's really just going to depend on Buddy Hield for them. I mean, and they can win the thing if he plays good. But my thing with him is if he has one bad game, they're done. But the chance of him having a bad game, I mean, he's so good that you can't count on having a bad game. So it's going to be interesting.
All right. We're going to take a break. But before we do, since we do cover local teams, we'll talk about Clemson and South Carolina. Clemson didn't make the NIT. South Carolina did. We'll talk about that real quick. Brad, how disappointed should South Carolina fans be? Not how disappointed are they, how disappointed should they be after not getting into the March Madness bracket?
I mean, if you really paid attention, you shouldn't be all that disappointed because, I mean, for the last 3 or 4 days, you saw, the opportunity getting bigger and bigger and bigger that they weren't going to make the tournament.
And losing to Georgia 3 times hurt them a lot.
And losing on the road at Missouri toward the end of the regular season was
Didn't
awful.
they lose to Missouri in the first time too?
No, they beat them in Columbia and then
We were
lost
there,
to 'em,
right?
Yeah, and then lost to them on the road.
They beat them by like 8 or something in Columbia.
Yeah, I mean, they just down the stretch, Carolina just wasn't very good.
And I think the disappointment for that team is not going to come from that they didn't make the tournament. It's that the way they started so good.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's probably because of their schedule and they didn't really play anybody in non-conference. But if you just saw like the hype that was even around here a little bit at school, South Carolina fans were excited about basketball finally. They were finally ranked, and so I think the disappointment comes from where they started. And now, they're not even in. I don't think it should be a surprise because they lost 7 games in a weak SEC. But the disappointment will become from where they started.
And just going back to their non-conference schedule, they did play St. John's, they did play Memphis, they did schedule Clemson. Now, St. John's only won 8 games. That's awful. Memphis, won 17 games. They, made it their conference. They just lost. So, I mean, when you look
they're
at
not
it,
a very good team.
Well, yeah, when you look at it before the season, you see a Memphis, St. John's, Clemson. You have those 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there wasn't anybody there.
But I've heard multiple people said the reason they didn't make it was due to Frank Martin's lack of scheduling tough non-conference teams.
I mean, he scheduled tougher games in years past when they didn't have the talent, and when they do have the talent.
Weren't these games scheduled before he even came along, though?
No, he makes a schedule every offseason.
Okay.
Which he'll definitely change that because he's going to get more and more talent every year now.
Okay.
He needs to schedule tougher non-conference games.
I don't know that they'll be as good next year as they were this year.
Yeah, I think they're not going to win as many games, but I'd be shocked if they weren't in the tournament because I think they will play a tougher non-conference schedule, and I think the experience coming back is going to help them in conference play. I think they win more conference games next year.
All right, so who do they play, Brad?
They're playing High Point, I think. Yeah, High Point.
And they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they're the 1 seed.
So Gamecock fans should they have hope? I think it's tomorrow night, right?
I think, tomorrow night. It's just a matter of motivation for the players. Do they want to play or not?
Well, their leading scorer, Carolina's leading scorer.
Is it Carrera?
Nope.
Thornwell?
Thornwell,
Yeah.
thank you, tweeted the same video that Tony Romo tweeted back when he got hurt. You know what video I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Last night after they found out they didn't make it, he said, Thornwell tweeted something to the effect of they don't appreciate us or something. We'll prove it to them, and then he captioned the video of what movie is that? Is that the?
I'd have to look at the.
It's the clip is where they're in the locker room and there's only one thing left to do, and the guy goes, "What's that?" And the main character goes, "Win the whole bleeping thing." So Thornwell wants to go win the whole bleeping thing.
Yeah. Well, I think you should. If you're in it, you might as well play to win.
Right.
Yeah, that's the
But
point.
you asked about their attitude, and I'm told you that they did have a good attitude.
Well,
at least Thornwell does.
Yeah, and if you look at the bracket, the second round matchup would be a fun game with either Houston or Georgia Tech. And, I think the fans will accept the NIT. I think there'll be a lot of people there.
$15, by the way.
Tickets?
Yep. No tickets. No tickets.
No tickets?
$15 at the door.
Oh, why wouldn't you go?
Yep.
Pay $15, sit wherever
Tomorrow
you want.
night. $15, sit wherever you want.
That's the motivation for the NIT, too. It's, okay, we're going to prove to them that we should have been in the NCAA.
Right. So, Gamecock fans, $15 tomorrow night. Colonial Life, you can be there and watch them play the number 1 seed High Point. Brad, do you think they'll come away with a win?
Yeah, I think they'll win tomorrow. I'd be kind of surprised if this team didn't make it to New York.
Yeah, I think
They're going to be, I think they're going to make a run. They're at least, obviously talented enough. So we'll come back and we'll take a quick break. You're listening to WNGRLP 95.5 The Vibe in Tigerville. This is The Bottom Line. Welcome back into The Bottom Line here on Mixler.com/WNGR. Also on the Mixler app, you can find us in Tigerville at 95.5 FM. That's 95.5 The Vibe. Cole Bryson, along with Brad McGuffin as usual, and Matt Byers joining us today. Real quick, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about free agency this segment, but real quick, I do want to open with something I haven't told Brad or Matt what it is yet, but they're going to listen to this timeline of events. I'm going to briefly go through this timeline of events for a current free agent in the NFL who plays quarterback. So we're going to go all the way back to 2014, August 19th to be exact. During a preseason football game against the Washington Redskins, Johnny Manziel gives the bench the middle finger. He was fined $12,000. November 24th, 2014, a fan approached Manziel and his crew in the apartment building in the lobby. Manziel's friend beat him up. All right, let's go to the 28th. We're now in 2015. Manziel voluntarily checks into rehab. June 1st, 2015, he was the Texas native was heckled at a golf tournament by an 8-year-old fan. Johnny proceeded to throw a water bottle at the same person. October 12th, 2015, Manziel was involved in a domestic violence incident. Fast forwarding to November of 15, he was caught partying at College Station. Just 10 days later, he was caught partying on video again. The 26th, the former Texas A&M quarterback was seen partying in Dallas. Let's go to 2016, January 30th. The police police responded to a 911 call. Had something to do with the ex-quarterback's girlfriend, Colleen Crowley. Let's go to January 31st, 2016. Manziel's father, Paul, tells the Dallas Morning News that he attempted to admit his son into rehab once again, but he declined. February 2nd, not long after, Paul tries to admit his son again. He declined, told his son that he had suicidal thoughts, told the press that his son had suicidal thoughts. The 3rd of 2016, Crowley files for a restraining order, and on the 5th of February, Eric Burkhart drops Manziel as a client. So, last night, I don't know if y'all have heard. Do y'all know what Johnny Manziel did last night? Brad, Matt?
Haven't heard yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Manziel was leaving the club. Is that a surprise?
No.
So he was leaving the club. Someone asked him, Manziel, will you be playing football this fall? You know what he said?
What did he say?
H-E-L-L, yeah, I'll be playing football this fall in the NFL. So Johnny Manziel thinks that he will be playing football. He is a free agent. He cleared the waivers. Do y'all think that Johnny Manziel will be playing for a team in the National Football League this fall?
I think he will. I think he'll at least get picked up by somebody. Somebody's going to take a shot on him, whether it be the 49ers if they get rid of Kaepernick, or even I've heard this scenario, and it's probably the worst scenario for Johnny Manziel, but possibly the LA Rams now being interested in Johnny
that's
Manziel,
where he needs to go.
And that is not
go
where
to
he needs
LA,
to go.
Johnny.
But I think he needs to take a year off and get his life straightened back, because, you just read off, 3 or 4 minutes worth of just stuff that he's done over and over.
Over and over.
I believe in second chances, but come on, man. You're Johnny Manziel.
Come on, man.
You put yourself in the spotlight in college because you were so good, and, flashing money signs and all this stuff. You embraced the hate, and then you come to the NFL, and he's
a laughing stock.
Yeah, he's a laughing stock. So do I think he needs to take a year off? Yes, I think he needs to do that. But do I think somebody will give him a shot? I think there's a pretty good possibility that he'll have a shot in the NFL, at least in spring training, or not spring training, training camp.
Training camp
this summer, and then into the season.
I agree with what Herm Edwards said. He said a couple weeks ago that he needs to take a year off, get clean of everything, and then, continue to work out, prove that you're not going to get into all that mess for a year, and then...
a year? For Johnny?
I don't think he could do that.
I don't think he could either. But, if he did that, I think he'd have every team in the NFL knocking on his door.
Because he's talented.
No, I disagree completely.
Maybe not at quarterback, but to play somewhere on the roster.
He's talented.
He's so talented.
I don't know that his past... for you to say that if he cleans up for a whole year, and goes a whole year clean, like you said, stays in workout mode and still trains, that every NFL, or even a lot of NFL teams will be knocking on his door, I think that's crazy.
There'll be at least a few.
Now,
maybe 2 or 3.
I do think he will be playing in the fall. I do think that. With who, I don't know. But what he should do is, I think, take a year off. But he won't do it.
I agree.
Well, who's going to sign him?
Well, there's a lot of teams that would sign him, just invite him to camp.
But here's the thing. If he gets there, he hasn't proven that he can stay clean off the field. So he won't last.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why I think he should take a year off to
Oh, I
prove
agree.
himself. But that's hard. I mean,
Even if he takes a year off, I don't.
If he signs a contract, it'll be a contract where the team can cut him with no repercussions.
Oh, yeah. Like Greg
similar
Hardy
to
in Dallas.
McDonald, I don't remember his first name, but he signed with the.
Was it Eric?
No.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he signed with the Raiders last year.
Right.
When he ended up getting suspended, they were able to cut him without paying him. I mean,
Yeah.
they paid him for the weeks he played, but when they cut him, they cut all ties. So I think that'll be something that if I was going to sign Johnny Manziel, it would have to be that. And why don't he just come be a backup in Dallas for a year?
No.
I think that'd be a good fit, honestly.
No.
No. But
No.
I think there's a lot of teams that could use him. I mean, you don't even have to put him at quarterback. I mean,
Where would he play?
Put him in like a slot receiver. Put him somewhere.
Johnny Manziel is a slot
'Cause
receiver?
He's got the speed.
Oh,
He's got the
God.
athletic ability.
Oh, you're kidding.
I don't think he would.
No, you're crazy.
He's got the speed.
Oh, a lot of people have the speed.
Yeah, he's got the athletic.
Is that
ability.
all you need is receiver speed?
No, he's got the athletic ability. If you're not going to use him at quarterback, throw him out on the field. You can use him
A
in
receiver?
in a trick.
That's the
Where
most
else would you put him?
great quarterback.
Well, I'm saying if
That is the crazy.
if you don't want him to play quarterback.
It is not on any team's radar in the NFL to get Johnny Manziel and not put him at quarterback.
Well, yeah,
That's
if you're a
stupid.
team like Dallas, you have Tony Romo.
They would just put him behind Tony. They would
Yeah.
not. I don't think they.
But they've already said that
Yeah.
they're not interested in him.
Okay, well, a lot of teams have said that, but if you're a team that wants to sign Johnny Manziel, you can't use him at quarterback.
Dallas will not sign Johnny Manziel.
And if
Okay.
you're a team like the Jets, you got to have somebody at quarterback, and they're not gonna.
Right, but
They're not-
I there's no way I would be willing to, if I was a betting man, I'd bet any kind of money that Johnny Manziel will never, ever play in the NFL at any other position than quarterback. It won't happen.
Oh yeah, he'll be quarterback. If
He'll
he's
be
playing,
quarterback.
he's gonna be quarterback. I agree with you on that.
And it not only skill, ego. He is the biggest head on the field, and a lot of times we see, just like for the Panthers, those big-headed people play. They have to play one position: leader, quarterback. Johnny Manziel will only be a
He
quarterback.
won't take a back seat.
He will only be a quarterback. I don't think, to answer my own question, I don't think he will be playing in the fall. I just don't think anybody. What team? Let me ask y'all this: what team, in y'all's opinion, and I may be wrong, I may change my mind on this. What team, in y'all's opinion, desperately needs a quarterback to the point where they'd say, "Hey, what's on Manziel?"
I think he could.
Is there any team that is
like
that desperate?
Like I said, maybe the Jets, or my scenario is trade Kaepernick to the Jets and bring Johnny to San Francisco.
I think RG3 will be in the Jets.
That's true. He's out there too, so he's somebody that these teams that are looking for a quarterback would probably be more likely to go after him before they went after Manziel. But I think Manziel will be on a roster somewhere. He may not be the starter, probably won't be the starter, but I just can't see him not being anywhere, at least at some point next season.
I think Chip Kelly could find a way to use him.
In San Francisco?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's that kind of quarterback.
Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Chip and Johnny.
We're talking about egos here.
Well, Chip Kelly's been arrested.
What about Mr. Rex Ryan in Buffalo?
Oh, that would be. But they don't really. I mean, they found their quarterback.
Yeah,
last
they
year,
did. Yeah,
so-
they have a quarterback, but we're talking egos alone. I could totally see Rex giving Johnny a call.
And Rex will give anybody a call. I mean, anybody a chance. If they can play football, he don't even care. He don't
Exactly.
care about with their past really.
What about RG3? Do we see him? He's a free agent. He's been obviously cut from the Redskins. Do we see him anywhere? In y'all's opinion, do y'all think he finds a team before the fall?
I think his best fit's also San Francisco. I mean, he needs an offensive-minded coach that can, use him in what he's comfortable with doing at quarterback.
I just don't buy the Chip Kelly hype. Everybody says, "Oh, he'd be a good fit." Chip Kelly says, "I don't buy it." And the biggest reason is because I pull for a team in the NFC East, and I've watched that one team in the NFC East that are named the Philadelphia Eagles. I've watched them go from here to here.
But they had Sam Bradford at quarterback. He does not.
Right, but who got Sam Bradford?
That's true. I don't
Chip
know why
Kelly.
he did. I don't. That blows my mind.
I have never been sold on Chip Kelly. I never have. He hadn't sold me.
But I think the Broncos.
And when I said, sorry, real quick, when I said from here to here, obviously nobody's watching, so they can't see. He sent them from the top to the bottom because just a couple years ago they were competing for the East every year.
Yeah, I agree with you. But going back to RG3, I mean, I could see. I mean, I don't really know if it'll happen, but I could see maybe the Broncos giving them a shot. I mean, they're down to 2 quarterbacks on their roster. One of them's Mark Sanchez, and then I don't even know the other one. It's somebody. So
Me and Brad talked about it last week. Gosh, what is his name?
I can't remember, but I do agree.
That should tell you something.
Selman.
Yeah.
Selman.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's something similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to what Matt said, I could see RG3 going to Denver. I think that'd be a good fit for him. He's got the offensive talent. I mean,
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Denver. Denver was in the news last week for multiple reasons. First, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday when Peyton Manning retired. He officially announced his retirement, and he had it. He held the retirement ceremony or whatever you call it at the Denver Broncos headquarters. And guess who didn't show up?
Who?
Eli. I thought that was funny.
oh yeah, I didn't even know that.
Eli didn't show up. Everybody else in the family showed up except Eli. But let's talk about this. Brock Osweiler, who everybody thought 2 weeks ago was the new man, I'm the man in Denver. Guess what? No longer is Denver even negotiating with Brock because Brock's long gone to Texas. Do y'all think that Denver made the right move there?
No, I don't know why they even let him listen to anyone else.
Well, they had their number that they were willing to pay Brock, and from what I saw, the Houston Texans offered $20 million more over the same time period, and to the Broncos, it just wasn't worth the $20 million.
Right now, do I think the Denver Broncos messed up by not signing him? Yes, but I also think Houston messed up because they backed the truck up for Osweiler.
Yeah, I think they did overpay him. Now Denver was more worried about keeping some of their defensive players too.
Von Miller.
And they lost a lot of those.
Yeah, but I think in the end, I think Osweiler is going to work out great in Houston. As a Colts fan, I'm not excited about that, but I think it's going to make the division better when you have more teams with better players. Look at Jacksonville; they got a good quarterback. Now Houston does too. So we'll see.
Who's the fourth team? Tennessee.
Yeah.
So everybody has.
They've got issues.
But everybody in that division has a fairly decent quarterback.
Young quarterback too. But before we move on, I just told Matt this, and I want to get your opinion on this, Cole. Going back to RG3 real quick. I just thought of this one team. I want you to think about Pittsburgh real quick. As injury prone as Roethlisberger's been the last couple of years, and with the offensive talent around that offense, think about RG3 in that offense. He wouldn't have to run as much, and he'd be able to stay in the pocket and
Well,
get rid of the ball
that's my
quicker.
question, Mark. That's where I disagree. I agree that he wouldn't have to run as much, but I totally disagree on the fact that he'd stay in the pocket. Because I never saw RG3 in Washington stay in the pocket.
Yeah, he does like to get out and run, but I think
I think that's what would hurt. I think that's what would hurt him in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I mean, it may work out, but I think Pittsburgh's got used to that Big Ben offense, where Big Ben will be Big Ben, quote unquote, Big Ben, and stand in the pocket as long as he needs to.
Yeah.
And when you have that many targets, I think, like Brad's saying, I mean, you can succeed with that many targets, even though they are going to be without Bryant this year.
Yeah.
He's one year suspension. So
Is that official now?
yeah, it is official from the NFL, but I assume he'll appeal.
Oh, he'll appeal it.
And knowing the NFL, we never know what they're going to do. So
they'll probably.
Well, you know what? That suspension. That's a 1 year. That's a big suspension.
they're really cracking down, and I give the NFL credit.
but then
Now,
they always
do something. to-
reduce it
Yeah.
when they appeal it. So
Well,
why crack down?
Randy
and not reduce it?
Gregory, defensive end for the Cowboys, second-year rookie, got fined for almost the same thing. Got 4 games.
Yeah.
So you never know with the NFL. But as far as free agency goes, I think that there's a lot of free agents out there. Eric Weddle today, I was hoping that he'd sign with the Cowboys. He was down to 3 teams: Dallas, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, and he signed with Baltimore. So he's going to go let his career ruin in the great Baltimore city. Oh, wow. So much for being good. You went to one bad team from one bad team to another. So, Matt, for your Carolina Panthers, what free agent moves do you hope the Panthers field if they haven't already?
There's not really that many free agents out there that the Panthers are going to look at. They've been more concerned with just getting their people back that they want. I think they did a brilliant move, letting Charles Johnson go, saving $11 million on the cap, and then turning around and signing him back for only $3 million. I think that was a brilliant move. He was not worth what he was getting paid, but I think he can.
And
be
he's
worth
kind of old
$3
too.
million. He's like 31, but he got injured last year.
Right.
He didn't have a very good year, but I think we saved $11 million by cutting him, turned around and signed him for $3 million to fill that spot. We're really saving up money because some of our young talent is going to be wanting to get paid in the next couple years. So I don't see us making a big move because you have Kelvin Benjamin going to be a free agent soon.
Josh Norman in a year.
K'Wan Short and Star Latule. So that's why, Dave Gittleman has been saying this all along. We're not going to go sign these big name free agents. That way, when these people come, we can afford to pay them, and I like that, keeping that young core together.
I was hoping Josh Norman would go just because I don't like the Panthers, but they kept him. They franchise tagged him. Maybe next year. So that's been our free agency talk, the little bit that we did talk about. We've discussed the March Madness bracket, discussed free agency. And now it's time for a little college baseball. We'll start off with the local team here, the North Greenville Crusaders, who are 9-0 in conference play. North Greenville swept Mount Olive this past weekend. Friday night they played 16 or 17 innings and won 4-3. And then Saturday it wasn't even close. Brad, how good is this North Greenville team? Obviously, there's another team in the conference that's just as good, if not better. But right now, when you see this North Greenville team, what do you see?
Well, offense is their ego, so to speak. And every game, it's the games they've won. They've been on a huge winning streak, and it's been because of offense. They hit home runs, they hit doubles and triples. They're a power hitting team.
They've won 3 straight.
Yeah, and the pitching's been there too. So that's been good. The bullpen's been good. Now, they've gotten ahead by so much, so they didn't really have to rely on the bullpen as much. Now, in 2 weeks they have to play
Belmont Abbey.
Yeah, they're the other team.
That's the 1st of April.
They're undefeated in conference play as well. That's going to be another big test for North Greenville.
Belmont Abbey's the team that's going to give North Greenville fits, if anybody does.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge series.
Oh, yeah.
In a couple weeks. So, I think this team's got, they're still early in the year. They've still got a little bit left to prove, and I think they will end up winning the conference just because the offense is so good.
They went on at one time 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 game winning streak. They went on an 11-game winning streak where they started against Salem International, and they finished all the way down here with a win over Southern Wesleyan, the sweep last weekend. They lost 2 midweek games, which don't really hurt them that much. Southern Wesleyan and Anderson. I'm sorry, that was actually Anderson and Newberry. Anderson beat them down pretty good, 10-3, and then lost by 1 to Newberry. And actually, they'd already played Newberry, and they lost 3-6 the first time back on February 9th. But that win, that sweep against Mount Olive was huge because Mount Olive was the projected favorite out of the Conference Carolinas preseason. They were the preseason favorite, and the Crusaders swept them this past week. They won in 16 innings Friday night, 5-4. They won Saturday, the first game 12-1, and then the second game Saturday they won 5-0. They let them score 1 run Saturday. I'd say that's pretty good. 1 run.
Yeah.
And then this Thursday, they get a 4-day break. They play this Thursday, March 17th, against Anderson, who we just talked about, beat them 10-3. Really handed it to them back on the 7th of March. They play Anderson at Floor Field in Greenville, not far from here, at 7 p.m. Will be a night game, if you will. For the first hour, it may be light, but it'll get dark soon after that. That game can be heard, by the way, just a shameless plug, right here on 95.5 FM on Mixler.com/WNGR. Brad, do you think they can come back and beat the Trojans after losing to them the first time, all the way back in just a couple weeks ago on the 7th?
Yeah, I think they'll have the offense. I think they're in a little bit of a momentum swing here. They've swept another conference series. I think they're going to have momentum. I think the bats are going to come out. It's a big ballpark they're going to be playing in. Hopefully that won't affect them too much. I did just check Twitter, though. This is an interesting fact. North Greenville came in at 9 in the Southeast Region top 10. So they're
right. I saw that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think that's higher than they've been in the past. So
think they can hit it over the Big Green Monster?
It's going to be tough. I mean, North Greenville has a small ballpark here. It's nothing huge. Floor Field's a different, atmosphere, so to speak. It's going to be interesting for the outfielders, see how they play the ball off the wall, that kind of thing. Center field is, 420 feet, and it goes into more of a corner, so that's going to be a different, aspect of the game. But, it's going to be fun to be out there. So it'll be It's going to be a fun night.
Trivia, real quick trivia. Matt, Brad, I don't know if y'all know. The Big Green Monster in Boston is how much taller than this one here in Greenville?
Is it 20 feet taller?
What do you say, Matt?
I'm not sure, maybe 20, 25 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet.
Not much taller.
Yeah.
When you look at them on TV, obviously the one in up north looks a lot bigger, but 10 feet is not that big of a difference. I mean, it is when you're hitting balls into the wind, but it's not as big as I thought it was. I heard that a couple weeks ago on the Clemson Carolina broadcast. So that'll be a good game here this Thursday. Like I said, at Ford Field, Anderson versus North Greenville, and then North Greenville will play actually 6 straight road games. They'll go to King University this weekend, doubleheader Saturday. That's in Bristol, Tennessee, and then they will play on the 22nd versus Brevard. That's the middle of next week, and then they'll play 25th, 26th against Pfeiffer University up in North Carolina.
I saw this weekend King played Erskine, and I don't know if y'all saw that score, but
I didn't see it.
our friend Rudy Jones tweeted it out. Erskine beat them 28-8.
Wow.
So ERA
They beat
for
King.
King, yeah, King's ERA is going to be up a little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think North Greenville may be able to score 20 then.
Maybe.
And then they play Brevard, and then Pfeiffer, like I mentioned. Then they come back home. After I tell you, the last home game was on the 12th, which was this past Saturday against Mount Olive, that doubleheader. And then they don't have another home game until the 29th of March. So they have a good little road stand. I guess this Greenville game will probably be mostly North Greenville fans. I'm sure Anderson people will be there as well. But they come home the 29th, and then they go on a three-game road stand again, and then they don't play at home again until the 5th. So a lot of conference games left. Like you said, we have conference games left against King, against Pfeiffer, Belmont Abbey. That's the first weekend of April. That's going to be a huge one. Belmont Abbey's undefeated. Limestone, more conference games, Barton, and I believe the last one is Erskine. So a couple of good series left here in the North Greenville schedule. But Brad, we weren't here last week, so let's talk about the Clemson Carolina series because we didn't have a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
That was a good series.
It was. Yeah, go ahead.
The pitching Saturday and Sunday for Clemson was really what won. Was what helped the Tigers win. Obviously Saturday, we've talked about, the pitching was unbelievable. And Friday night, if you don't know what we're talking about, Friday night Clemson and Carolina played in Columbia. South Carolina won, and then Saturday and Sunday Clemson won the series.
Yeah, the Schmidt brothers were fantastic. Friday and Saturday both.
Right.
What really hurt both teams, if Clemson lost Friday night, they had 4 errors. You can't have 4 errors and win.
And they weren't down by much.
Yeah.
They weren't down by much, and then all of a sudden Carolina broke it open.
And then Saturday, just Carolina couldn't pitch the ball, they couldn't hit the ball, they couldn't field the ball. And you cannot do that and win a baseball game.
We can't kick, can't hit.
And then
It's like the Army, right, left? Oh, Spurrier.
Spurrier.
Quote,
And then
Spurrier quotes.
Sunday, you had the feeling Clemson was going to win after that game Saturday. They just had all the momentum. And once again, the pitching for Clemson was so strong.
Well, I heard an expert on the bottom line not long ago say that Clemson was going to win 2 or 3 out of the series.
Yeah, and they did.
But this past weekend, Clemson also lost their Friday game. That's the second weekend in a row they've lost a Friday game to Wake Forest, who we talked about, has a really good pitcher. They came back and won Saturday and Sunday. Sunday was a crazy game. They were down big, 8-4, and then in the 8th inning, Clemson scored, 8 straight runs in one inning. So the Tigers got a big win. They needed that win Sunday to win that series against Wake Forest.
Yeah. Clemson fans, don't be worried about the Friday night loss. That pitcher's fantastic for Wake Forest. But Clemson did bounce back, and Seth Beer is just phenomenal. I got to see him play.
Unbelievable.
I got to see him play that Saturday against Carolina Greenville, and he hit a ball so far that it ended up being a triple. In any other ballpark in the country, it's a home run. So, he's got the bat speed. He's got, just the quickness on the field. He's only a freshman, folks.
And should have been, like you said,
he should be
in
a senior in high school. So, it's going to be fun to see him get better and better as years go on.
You think he'll be in Clemson next year?
Yeah, he'll be there until he's a junior, and then after that he'll go pro. But, he's just so good.
He's good. Clemson plays tomorrow versus the Citadel in Charleston. Then they turn around and play the Citadel again on Wednesday. And then their series this weekend, they come back home for a series against Boston College, which they should win that series.
Although Boston College did just go on the road and take 2 or 3 from number 8 NC State this weekend.
Big.
And Boston College's bullpen ERA wise, is one of the best in the country.
It's going to be a good matchup. 6:30 p.m. start Friday night. That'd be a good game to go to. PC is who they played the midweek game next week. But the Gamecocks also had a pretty good weekend, Brad, where they handled the Charleston team pretty well.
Yeah, they did. They swept.
Not College of Charleston,
Yeah.
Charleston Southern.
I was there Friday night. Pitching was just once again good for Carolina. They play Upstate tomorrow in Greenville. That's going to be a good game.
And at the Ford Field?
Yeah, at Ford Field. I expect Carolina to win tomorrow as well.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in to The Bottom Line here on WNGR LP 95.5 The Vibe in Tigerville. Also on Mixler.com/WNGR. This has been The Bottom Line with Brad McGuffin and Cole Bryson.